Hi friends, this is Kapun Pisa. This is for mentally healthy, in other words, atheists, scientists, neurologists, intellectuals, like Dawkins, Harris, and other scientists, that they fail to see that religion is one of the schizophrenias. It's a neurological disorder, and it spreads in churches. They fail to see that. And then you have a GOP psychotics and very ignorant people like Ben Carson running for president that spew all this demented nonsense, exactly the same like that nonsense is spewed by the clergy, the Vatican, all the churches and everything, infecting the brain of children in churches with all this anti-science, completely schizophrenic nonsense, because that's what it is. And atheists don't see it. So don't be surprised that Ben Carson believes in a 6,000-year-old earth and the pyramids in Egypt were granaries, put grain in there and all that. These people are extremely ignorant in these matters, but despite that they have a doctorate degree. Francis Collins is another one. So atheists, wake up. Wake up. These people belong in mental institutions. They don't belong in government. And you atheists are clueless, and they don't have any balls to actually call this mentally sick, theotarded, Christianity infected, ignorant, deluded psychopath to be in control of government, not in the mental clinics they belong. And you atheists are clueless and don't have the balls to actually question, just question, the mental health of these idiots like Ben Carson. So, I'm just warning the whole country about this disease that you fail to see. And I'm not a scientist like you guys are. So there is no excuse for you to be so clueless. Religion is one of the schizophrenias, a neurological disorder. It's very, very obvious. It's right there. We create thoughts with the brain. A sick brain can only create sick thoughts. Duh. So come on, guys. Get your brilliant heads out of your ass and smell the coffee. We depend on you. You have the power and the brains and all that to actually warn the government of the United States that you have all the churches that spray all this ignorance and psychosis and intolerance and everything by infecting the brain of children with all this Bible crap. Here, I'll explain it to you here. Very simple.
As a young man who was angry, and how he changed. His spiritual redemption made him the man he is today. And Carsons, who grew up with the doctor, and they told CNN they have no memory of the anger or of the violence.
Perhaps false memories created by his defective brain. The man is a Psychosis infected imbecile, a sick man.
Did not know Ben Carson until he had this spiritual redemption. They did not.
I had no idea what a spiritual redemption is. A spirit is air. Air in the lungs, idiots.
The first one, incident where he said he was 13 or 14 years old, and then the third incident he listed off in specifics was when he hit his mother with a hammer, and he said he was about the same age, 13, 14 years old. I want to bring in Seer. Has
psychopath
really taken to.
It's the HIV of the brain that is lays dormant.
And the doctor
it's a Christianity positive.
Head on.
Can become imagine an imbecile like that as the president of the country, in control of the nuclear weapons. Imagine that.
Standing in the polls. Surprised at some of the things he said, but you know, he said them honestly, and I believed everything he told me.
As a youth, listen to this.
About childhood violence, and they really had a hard
time corroborating.
Split mind, false memories, typical psychotic.
Well, I don't want to expose people without their knowledge, but remember, when I was 14,
A sick man.
when the knifing episode occurred, that's when I changed. That's when.
Unless you were the victim of that temper, why would you know? Just because you happen to know me, that doesn't make any sense.
It does make a lot of sense when a person is schizophrenic or religious psychotic, Christ psychotics. Remember this man, neurosurgeon, believes that the Bible is true, and he does not believe in evolution. That's a psychotic man. That's a man with mental problems. Split personality, two personalities, false memories, evade the brain. And the guy studied neurology. So that tells you that mental illness does not discriminate. The man is a Christ psychotic, infected imbecile, an idiot, demented man. We shouldn't have people like that in government. And the whole GOP is Christianity infected. The Supreme Court is Christianity infected, at least 6 of them.
Parts of his life are going to be under scrutiny.
Exactly.
He's described some, very serious, potentially criminal misconduct, from, assault with a deadly weapon potentially to attempted murder. Reporting that we've done, he lived in a neighborhood where, according to friends, it was fairly tight-knit, and parents were on top of their kids,
And the media doesn't see it.
A kid do something wrong.
And mentally healthy, those atheists, scientists do not see it, and they don't call these Christians for the psychotic, demented, schizophrenic, temporal lobe epileptic, deluded people with brain problems.
People with bricks and rocks and
People that believe in gods and crap like that and the Bible are mental cases. They have a problem with the brain, and atheists wake up, especially Dawkins.
To talk to
Bill Nye.
about the incidents, their
Wake up, guys.
temperament.
United States of America, Christianity-infected nations with churches all over the place that rape the brain of children, and you guys say nothing. You get some balls, atheists, mentally. You're supposed to be intellectuals. Kaku, Dr. Neil deGrasse Tyson, Dr. Harris. Imagine this idiot. He's clueless.
For doing your job.
Believing God is a mental illness. Religion is a psychosis. Deal with the facts. We create thoughts with the brain. When the brain is sick, it can only produce 6 deluded, irrational, bizarre, metamagical beliefs. At the core of all religions and all schizophrenias. Come on, guys. Atheists, worthless idiots. American atheist societies are clueless, are blind.
He says at several points along the way. He uses this as a central moment in his stump speech as he reaches out to evangelical voters. So we went to Detroit to visit a lot of his friends and childhood friends to see if this matches the person that they see now. And something early in his life, of course, but it speaks to an incident that he talks about on the campaign trail a lot, that he gave some 20 years or so ago. He said that the pyramids in Egypt were actually used to store grain. And he was asked again earlier this week, and he said he still believes that. Republican frontrunner.
See how ignorant this imbecile is? The pyramids were to store grain. Christ psychosis.
Let's be honest. Ben Carson is an interesting cat. That's not all bad.
No, he's a Christianity-infected schizophrenic imbecile.
And he started.
The man is a religious schizophrenic. Had a problem with the brain. Nobody sees that. Nobody questions his mental health. This is the problem in this country.
Class neurosurgeon, I think by definition you're on a different intellectual plane than the rest of us. Conservative, you were by definition.
No, a different plane. No, it's an idiot. It's a psychotic person. Yes, psychotic people, schizophrenic, regardless how intelligent they are crazy. They have imaginary friends.
Biblical figure Joshua, I think it was, stored grain there. That ties into the whole religion thing. We've seen Donald Trump talking about the Seventh-day Adventist angle.
Here's Ellen White, founder of the Adventist. Adventist means the coming, the Advent. And this is Koresh, and also another imbecile here, Ted Cruz, and the lunatics of Jehovah's Witness, Ted Russell, the same, McVeigh, all Christ-psychotic infected imbeciles. And they're psychopaths. Look at this woman's look. And this is Baha'u'llah of the Baha'i faith. Another
Ben Carson is an Adventist. Adventism was created by a really crazy woman that bumped her head. Well, she was a young woman. And she suffered from temporal lobe epilepsy and schizophrenia, all these mental disorders. But in those days, 1840s, there were visions. There was God talking to them, just the same like Joseph Smith in the 1830s. Here she is. Psychotic woman. Those are the Adventists. These are nuts. These are crazy people. Ben Carson is one of them, the Adventist, but so was Koresh. Koresh! And many, many other ones. All these crazy people that commit all these crimes. It's some of the shooters, Adventists. Jim Jones came from People's Temple, Adventist idea. The Adventists believe in the return of Christ, of the Jesus, the rapture. They believe in this rapture nonsense. William Miller, the great disappointing 1844. Christ didn't show up, but and he was very disappointed. So that was all these lunatics were disappointed. In 1844, Google it. The great disappointing of 1844. So all these people are nuts. And Ben Carson is another nut, and these people shouldn't be in government. They should be in mental institutions, all of them. Close all the churches because they rape the parent of children. And that's the truth.
They see him and think, well, this guy's
because
strange. I'm obviously
America is a Christianity-affected nation.
Voters right now.
Sick people,
It is indeed.
and churches all over the place infecting everybody.
Take a look at the New York Magazine.
And that's the problem. Ben Carson is a schizophrenic. It's a religious schizophrenic. It's a person, bipolar, mania, and problems in the brain. He can tell between fact and fiction, regardless of his medical degree, being intelligent in that field. But still doesn't, to him, he doesn't understand evolution. Everything is God. So in the moment that he gets into an area he doesn't understand in science, of neurology and all that, he completely changes it and he says, oh, God did it. It must be God. It must be Jesus Christ. After all, he's a Seventh-day Adventist. You know, it was a sick person. Just like Koresh, Heaven's Gate, Doe, and all these Psychotics. And you have to study where Adventism comes from. Ellen White, 1840s, 44. All the prophets, all this stuff, a woman, Ellen White, that suffers a concussion in the head, that was a schizophrenic. It was a demented woman, and that's the one that started the Seventh-day Adventist. And well, the stupid news media don't get into the area historical facts of where all these Christianity-infected imbeciles, the Adventists, came from. Christianity is a mental illness. It's 1700 years in the Universal Church of the Christus, the Catholic Universal Church, because of the disintegration of the Roman Empire. We created all these delusions, which are still on today. It's like conspiracy theory, ancient aliens, UFO abductions, and the rest of crap is all produced by sick brains. The brain is the creator of thinking, of thoughts. When the brain malfunctions, it can only create distorted, irrational thoughts. Like 2 + 2 equals any number they believe it is, because they see it as reality, that is either 6, 8, 9, 20, whatever. But never the truth, never the reality of 4. To a religious psychotic, 2 + 2 equals anything that their infected brains believe it is. Temporal limbical interference, cognitive dissonance, and dysfunction, disconnection of the brain. It is in the neural array. The cerebral cortex, they have all this information. They have false memories. They see things that they believe they happened before. That's a false memory. And they swear it is true. And that is not. So that is sign of a sick brain. And I tell you one thing, the majority of Americans are, 80% of them are psychotics. They don't care about facts and science or anything like that. They believe what everybody tells them. As long as it's a fantasy and fairy tales, they believe it. The reality they don't believe, but the fantasy they do. Like if they're going to Disneyland, they believe all the characters in Disneyland are true. Just like children's do, because it creates it's fun. Science fiction, things that are not real, and all that is fun. It creates dopamine in the brain, serotonin, all these neurotransmitters that make you feel really good. Angels, the spiritualism, which is air in the lungs. These people are, faith and all that. Oh, great. The history of the Bible or the Quran or anything like that is wonderful because it creates these fantasies. But reality, that we're going to die, we're all mutated primates, and we get sick and die, and there is no God and stuff like that. That reality is very hard to accept. And it creates panic and fear and all that stuff. So you dismiss the reality, the truth of what we are. That the only life after death is a bacteria and viruses eating our remains. That's the truth. Because we're part of the whole DNA, we're part of the whole life on the planet. And they don't accept that, because that's reality. So religious psychotics never accept reality. And that's something that the atheist, the clueless, mentally healthy atheists like Dawkins, Harris, Krauss, Neil deGrasse Tyson, and Bill Nye, and all the rest of scientists do not see. They never question the mental health of imbeciles, Christ-psychotic infected imbeciles like Ben Carson, and the rest of the GOP lunatics. Never question. That's very dangerous, because if they're in control, they're in control of the Congress and SCOTUS and Supreme Court and all that. The presidency is very dangerous when you have these lunatics, they are considered sane, in charge of a nation. And this is what these idiots don't see. And I blame atheists, I blame mentally healthy atheist scientists for not speaking out and connect these idiots to mentally ill people. Just like a temporal lobe epilepsy, people with depression, bipolar, suffer from mania, and all the rest of neurological disorders. They never question their mental health. And that's extremely dangerous, my friends. Very dangerous. That's the reason I make the YouTube videos, and the reason I'm warning people. Religious beliefs and mental illness is one of the schizophrenias combined with other disorders, and very dangerous, like an HIV of the brain. Caused, in my opinion, my hypothesis, by the Borna virus, because we're full of viruses. That's the truth.
What did you do?
This imbecile wants to be president. I call him moron. A psychopath.
By myself in the bathroom, and started contemplating my life and realizing that I would never realize my dream of becoming a physician with a temper like that.
From that day forward, Carson says he was a changed man. Now
I was surprised, because he was just, he was quiet and calm.
CNN reporters Maeve Reston and Scott Glover tracked down 10 schoolmates and neighbors.
False memories.
And challenged Carson's story.
Many sick.
Only one says they heard vague rumors about one of the incidents.
Believes in is a Christian.
Was not the boy they knew.
Believing all this Christianity infected Bible crap and all that. It's fantasies. False memories.
I mean, that kind of...
Man is a sick person.
The campaign has refused repeated requests from CNN to help find witnesses or the victims Carson mentions only by first name, telling CNN it was a, quote, witch hunt.
And he never will, because it's all in his mind. It's an infected mind, like schizophrenics do. Same thing, the man is sick.
A little surprised by it.
Timothy McDaniel says he was one of Carson's closest childhood friends. He says he raised it with Carson after the book came out.
Invented all these things.
He hid it from us all those years, and he said he was just too embarrassed to even talk about it. I was surprised at some of the things.
False memories.
But
sick brains, like I said.
Honestly,
Christianity.
I believed everything he told me.
Infection.
CNN, Washington.
This is the problem. People don't see it. They get that crap in churches. Little kids, they rape the brain of churches, all this garbage, and people don't see it. Believing God is a mental illness, it's psychosis. It's a very dangerous one, like an HIV of the brain.
CNN, and we asked about this investigation this morning, saying, why was it so hard to find these people? Jerry, who hit
because they don't exist.
Knife. He said that there was.
It's like trying to find Christ,
for us to be
Peter,
able to find these people.
Paul,
how would anyone
angels,
know who they are?
Miracles,
Told us who they
crucifixion.
Are. That sound to listen to.
Never happened. It's the inventions in the 4th century. It's just create all these fantasies. Like the pyramids were used for granaries.
That's when I changed. That's when most of those people they talked to began to know who I was.
Yeah, it's psychotic. An idiot.
What makes you think you would be able to find them? Unless I tell you who they are.
Really?
If they come forward...
Really? Like in the Bible?
Because of your story, that's fine, but I'm not going to expose them.
is completely inaccurate. We didn't just talk to people who knew him when he was 14.
See?
We talked to neighbors. We talked to elementary school classmates, junior high classmates, high school classmates, people who were in ROTC with him. None of these people had heard about any of these incidents except for one who said he remembered a vague rumor about the stabbing incident at the time. It's odd that the campaign will not help us find any of these people or eyewitnesses who can talk about what happened during this.
I don't find it at all.
Really important piece of vetting a presidential candidate. I mean, we went about this story to...
See, the thing is that, why is this reporter that is stupid and ignorant is surprised? It's surprised. Ben Carson, like the rest of Christ Psychotics, are people that believe the crap and mythological nonsense of the Bible and to be true. You can never find anything of Christianity and miracles and Jesus Christ and apostles and the rest of crap as true. You can never, if there is no historical account of any of this shit. So why is everybody surprised that the Christ Psychotic infected, the schizophrenic, the temporal lobe epileptic, the man with a bad brain, Ben Carson, claims all the things to be true? Why is everybody surprised? It's like conspiracy theories. It's like people that believe in ancient aliens and the UFO and the Yeti and the monster in the lake and all that crap that nobody can find. It's like going to, like believing the Lord of the Rings characters are true. Or like all the characters in this land are true. And you go over there and you cannot find them. And you write a book about Winnie the Pooh and Donald Duck and Mickey Mouse and all the miracles. And you go over there and you believe that they're true. And everybody in the United States thinks that you're sane. That is perfectly normal. Well, the same shit happens in the Bible. These people that believe in Bible, these people that go to church and they give you all that crap in church. You go to university like Brigham Young and they give you all that crap along with the science. And you believe that all this stuff is true, and the people are considered insane. So wake up, atheists. You guys are idiots. You know, scientists, atheists, idiots. Dawkins, Bill Nye, Krauss, and all that. Brilliant minds, but you are blind. Blind. You don't see that believing God is a mental illness. It's just one of the schizophrenias. Nobody seems to see it. And I've been saying that ad nauseum in all my videos. True hurts, I know.